It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Let's watch some more old E3. I'm Jeff Grubb. Joining me is my good friend Mike Minotti, who loves old things.
It's true.
Tell me what's going to happen here, Mike. What are we watching this time?
We are watching Microsoft's E3 2010. This is a very Kinect-heavy E3, which I thought would make it interesting. I first thought to watch 2009. It's very hard to find all of that on YouTube because it opened with Rock Band Beatles, which is just a DMCA. I figured out, I was like, why can't I find this? It's insane. And I'm like, oh, that's why.
Yes, that makes more sense now.
Yes. So, but that was when there was like what still Project Dural or whatever.
Was it Natal?
Natal. It sounded like a Virtual Fighter villain. I just remember that.
Dural was the name of the Dreamcast. So wow, I can't believe you didn't mess that up. Yeah, it was Project Natal.
Yes, I know how many Mega Mans there are, but
oh my god.
So that one was like Milo, and I think that was what does the underside of a Avatar's foot look like? Bam. This is them like really trying to sell the Kinect now. So gonna be interesting to see how that has aged 11 years later and knowing what would happen with Kinect.
I think even weirder is to think like the Kinect was very successful when it came out. For an add-on for peripheral, it sold very well. And so this is the pitch that they gave us. I guess let's go ahead and hit play and see what that looked like, to see what like won over so many people. Is this what theater is this in Los Angeles? I'm trying to recognize it. I'm not sure if we've been to this one.
I'm trying to think too. It looks a little fancier. I think 2010 was actually my first E3, either that or 2011, but I didn't go to any of the shows. I just remember my first E3 was when Nintendo was talking about the 3DS. So that's how I can always remember. What are we opening it with? This is Call of Duty. Is that what we're opening with? Yeah,
it's Call of Duty. Man, it looks old now.
Isn't that funny? This is the by far cutting edge. Also, back when you would open an E3 of Call of Duty.
Yeah, definitely a different day and age.
This is Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. What is this?
It's gotta be Black Ops.
Oh.
Yeah, right. Black Ops is the one with the helicopter thing. Yeah. Black Ops 2?
It could be 2.
Not 3.
Wasn't 2 more like modern timey, and then 3 was future?
That sounds right.
I think it's Black Ops. I wonder if this is one where it's getting announced, or is it just like we already know about this game and they're showing us a trailer because it's Call of Duty at this point. So like that'll be great to open the show with.
Yeah, we would have known because even back then they followed the path of they would announce it early in the year, and then at the NBA playoffs there would be like a trailer for the multiplayer. Like even way back then I think they were doing that, so we would have known by now. And then at E3 they like show single player stuff.
Yeah, sure is Call of Duty. It's funny how we're even no matter how far back we go,
we always end up with Call of Duty. Yep.
We have to look at Call of Duty somewhere. I mean, this was when people were still very excited about it. Ooh, a date. Maybe that was new then.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe, because the Xbox 360, we are at a point where it feels very long ago now. And for a while it didn't, and now that is like an old system.
That is, that is a retro system, basically, at this point. Yeah, that is weird, but we did reach that point. This stuff, getting a guy to come up on stage to talk about Call of Duty, I feel like even then I was like, I don't need this part of it. I get it. I get what Call of Duty is. Even, it's only been 3 years or so, because it was 2007 when it first popped on stage, or first popped onto the scene at E3. With Modern Warfare. But it's like, just give me the game. Let's play some more of that. That sounds good.
And like this extended gameplay demo seems very unnecessary on and the guy's playing it like that. This is somewhere in between the two we already did, right? That E3 was that Nintendo 2007 or something, 2008, and that in the 2015 Sony one, right? And the Sony one had much less of this kind of stuff. It's just mostly videos. And when they did do this kind of thing, like the different Uncharted, they had that like incident with it. So like you could see why we stopped doing the guy's on the stage playing it with the controller. Like, who cares?
Yep. Yeah, just show a video of this. Like, yeah, that would have been fine.
Like, yeah, we're following the tension, huh?
Yeah, and this is still in the early days of Treyarch, and their whole thing was we're really gruesome, like we do the gruesome Call of Duties.
you think it's possible to possibly die that quickly from a knife wound to the chest? Like, I'm sure it'll kill you. I'm sure it's lethal. I don't think you'd be out.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
Death by knifing, but I just feel like there'd be a lot more writhing around and curling.
Mike, obviously speaking from experience, lots of knife murders in his past.
A lot of people with sharp objects. In the interest of time, well, like, see, yes, I agree, that was boring.
Yeah.
Like, you could have just skipped that whole thing. But this is where they should have been showing like Kennedy and really selling the whole Cold War thing here. Like, this is a bit more effective because this is basically just saying, look, it's Rambo, right?
Right.
So, sure. Did they remaster Black Ops? They didn't, right? They did Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2, but they didn't do Black Ops 1.
I don't think they've done any of the Treyarch remasters yet. I don't think. I don't know if they would do World at War, which is the one that happened after Modern Warfare.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. And then, so this is the first one they would probably do, because, yeah, this is Black Ops 1, and then, I don't know, and they would just do the campaign, right? That's what they do. They give you the campaign remastered, and then maybe put the multiplayer stuff into the current multiplayer.
It's incredible how we started with like having to have these very long showcases of the single player at E3 to that 1 year where they just like, oops, we didn't get the single player done, ship it without it, and no one cared.
Yep. Yeah, yes, again, a very different time and place. Yeah, that's it. Like, this is how, like, they're spending a ton of time on this, and I mean, of course they are. The Call of Duty is the biggest thing in the world at this point, and Microsoft had the co-marketing campaign and all that stuff. So, yeah, of course they're going to focus on this stuff, but it's different time.
There sure is like when you see it now, there sure is a difference, like from the back then, just ragdoll animating these people to the intense motion capture stuff we're doing today, huh?
Yes. That stuff looks old. All the textures look really old. Like, anytime you see the characters' first-person hands, like, that stuff just looks ancient. And like,
first-person. I remember even like Final Fantasy 13, which was a very good-looking game ahead of its time and everything until you saw their hands. I like how that place he's standing on is kind of made to look like a living room because of all the Kinect shenanigans we're gonna get later.
That's right. Yep.
Oh, dang, do a vehicle sequence?
Yeah, I know, right? You can tell, like, they almost, like, built this whole section for showing it at E3. I remember playing this and be like, oh, this just feels like I'm still, like, a first-person character just moving forward, because that's all you can really... You basically just press the button forward, and it goes forward, and, like, that's all you can really do, and you're barely moving left and right.
I'm aware that I dunk on Call of Duty because it is so popular, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay trying bringing it down a little bit. It's fine. Like, if you
I don't think you're gonna hurt it too much, Mike.
It'll be fine. Now, Biomutant, we all have to organize against that and intentionally destroy.
We cannot let that live. Games journalist's job is to prevent any new games from coming about. Yep.
That was my spicy Twitter take I had on vacation. I was very proud of. I was like, I'm glad that Days Gone isn't getting a sequel. Fuck it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I'm like, at first everyone was like, well, the first game wasn't that good, but like the second game is sometimes where it gets better. I was like, yeah, okay, fine. Then there's just been so much whining and voice and so much like conspiracy. It's like, screw it. It doesn't get a sequel, and that's fine. Who cares?
Mike laying down the wall.
Brings me joy.
Yeah,
Brings
well done.
me as much joy as when this demo ends in 30 minutes.
Yeah, for real. Just destroy every bridge in the country.
I am curious now because I'm trying to remember. Like at the time, were we still very excited about like seeing this super long Call of Duty demo thing? Because I remember I feel like up until Advanced Warfare, they were still like, wow, that looks really cool, and there was cynicism eventually. I don't know if the cynicism was there at this point yet.
Yeah, I don't know if I was ever like really blown away by the single player campaign stuff, because it was always like, yeah, that stuff's okay, but I play for the multiplayer, and most people do. So I don't know. I think even then I was probably like, that's whatever. There he is, Don Mattrick's here, everybody.
More importantly, this is Avatar. Isn't it incredible you can still find your avatar in an Xbox Series X?
No, that is so weird. That is so weird.
Blows me away.
Yep. And you never get there on purpose. You like stumble across. You're like, what the hell? What is this doing here?
It's like coming across your parents' porn history on the
exactly.
internet.
Yeah. Yep. It's like, man, someone said it should have done something about this by now.
Someone should have done this better.
Yeah.
Oh, we're still talking about Call of Duty. Oh my God, it's launching.
They paid a lot of money for this. They're gonna get their money's worth.
That's right, the game add-ons and map packs. Remember map packs?
Yep. And that's like not even that old, but still it seems ancient. It seems like such a bad idea.
It feels like horse armor era stuff to me now, right? Which is funny because like horse armor is everywhere now. Basically,
yes,
that's what it all turned into again.
The industry is fueled by horse armor. Yes.
Good morning. And welcome
except this horse armor with inside of a box, and maybe you'll get the horse armor you want, but you might get like a horse hat instead, or just gold that you can spend on the horse equipment that you want.
And for the first time ever, live in New York City.
Don't yawn yet, Jeff. We've got 100 or not.
I'm just I'm so excited by Don Mattrick is all.
This year marks 10 years.
Man, I don't think yeah, the Xbox 360 was great and stuff, but Don Mattrick doesn't seem like he ever quite got it, did he? Even before the Xbox One, this stuff just kind of felt like, oh, this is your show, huh?
And transforming the way you connect to friends and family.
I don't know why I'm so amused by your. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Place for you and your friends to play all three.
I mean, so it's like 2010, and it's a few years after the Wii, so both companies like Sony and Microsoft are going to have their motion control stuff, but even that just feels like, okay, we're going to chase Nintendo for a few years.
Right, but Microsoft did it very well. But it was kind of bizarre because the Xbox 360 was very much the gamer's game machine at this point. Right? And then it kind of just pivoted for the last like couple years of its life to being like the hotter family-friendly thing, even more so than the Wii. Because it was cheap now, you can get a Kinect. It was the thing that Oprah was doing and talking about, that kind of thing all of a sudden.
There were like a lot of used games too, so families were like interested in it. Like it was very popular, so there's a lot of used games. It's like it was a good thing to get for families, but you're right. It maybe Microsoft leaned into that a bit too hard. They sold a lot of Kinects, so whatever.
It looks great when you're seeing it like this, right? And when you're using it the first few times and you're doing simple things with it, it's super fun. It's just whenever they tried to, it was kind of like the problem that we had. Whenever you tried to seriously implement it into something slightly more advanced for gaming, it just didn't work. Is that Hideo Kojima?
Yeah, Hideo is here. Yeah, we're gonna talk. I think we're gonna talk about some Revengeance.
Okay, now is this the original Revengeance, or was this when Platinum Games came in and like rescued it? I think this is the original one, back when it was gonna be like him directing it, like his team, and it was not going to be a Platinum action game. So it's gonna be worse, basically. I'm super glad.
It was gonna be a bad game. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Is this the one that ends with him slicing the what's the word?
Watermelon?
Yes.
How many watermelons are there, Mike? God, you don't even know.
They're gross.
This is the one that ends with watermelons.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because it might have also been at that Konami thing, which was around this time too, because they had two separate trailers.
Yeah, so this is the producer from Kojima Productions, so maybe.
This guy's high-fiving him. This guy's about to fail at this job, apparently, right? Like, this guy never gets shipped.
It's a sword action game, unlike anything you've seen before.
It's because, at this point, Metal Gear Solid 4 has come out.
I'd like to introduce today.
Very quickly talking about this. Man, I almost want to play Metal Gear Rising again. That game is super fun.
Yeah, I would totally play this right now. I like this game a lot.
This is, Metal Gear Solid Rising, which back then confused me. I was like, just call it Metal Gear Rising. Like, Solid was already itself an add-on to the original franchise. Now it's like Metal Gear Solid Rising.
Imagine if this became the biggest thing in the world and it had to be Metal Gear Solid Rising and then another word after that in the future. I guess they got pretty close to doing that because they added Revengeance to this, but they did drop Solid.
Revengeance was so stupid, it was endearing.
Yes, true, yes, absolutely. That's the way to do it.
Absolutely could have just called that game Metal Gear Rising.
Uh-huh.
This is going to be interesting because I haven't thought about this original version of the game. This takes itself way more seriously than the final game did, which is again why it's bad.
Right. But I mean, it was all about like the sword stuff that was, and I think this version did have the sword stuff.
Right, it did, but like I don't think it had the combat system to justify it. That's why it didn't really work out.
Right.
And that's why Platinum Games just came in and basically just added, the combat system they put in most of their games, which is very fast paced and kind of parry heavy, and it works great. This is incredible. Yeah, see, it's already all about that slicing stuff.
Yeah, and that slicing stuff is cool.
Yeah, it was great. And he does do that in the final game. He squeezes it and he gets some health back.
Electro spine. What?
It would be really interesting to play a prototype of this version of the game. Like someday it's gonna leak, right?
I hope so. Yeah, or they deleted it and it doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, that would be great. I would love to play a ton of early access big budget games. That would be great.
Lightning bolt action, right?
Lightning bolt action.
Well, it's tactical espionage action, so they always had to have 3 words. So yeah, we see a lot. Yeah, we see this like this. That doesn't actually look like a game someone playing. That one maybe. Yeah, you can see right there. How is that a game? You hit the person once they die.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. But still, look at that. That's right fantastic.
That's in the game they made. Like, you do that. So, like, there is almost more here than I remembered in the final thing. But, yeah, this is before Platinum Game canceled at some point. Then Platinum Games came in and saved it. Yeah, here it is.
Yep.
Even today, that's actually pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that.
What will you cut? Jeff
This
Grubb.
game. Oh.
No, you. I'm going to cut you up with my knife. Remember, I'm a knife murderer.
That's right. Yes, we got to maintain that. Yes. Knife murderer Mike Minotti.
Yes. Knife murderer Jeff. Ball Jeff. Hey, it's Phil Spencer. Gamer tag, Phil Spencer.
That's weird. That's
gamer tag, just Jeff Grubb.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's fun, but it's just I don't know, something about it, like just up on stage there. Gamer tag.
Aren't you glad you didn't make your gamer tag like the publication that you were with at that time?
Yes, totally. You pay $10 not to be GamesBeat Jeff, or combo Jeff.
People who still have like BitMob.
Yep.
Unforgettable characters like
Marcus. He's got it.
Yep.
A little nervous. Those lights are pretty bright behind him. Hey, Gears of War. Splinter Cell. Oh, people love Splinter Cell. That's why we haven't made one since this time.
integral part of today's pop culture.
It's weird that the 3 that they just showed up there were Halo, Gears of War, Splinter Cell.
Although if they had an E3 today that was Halo, Gears of War, and Splinter Cell, a lot of people would be very happy.
Well, Splinter Cell would be big.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not quite sure what they're waiting for in that one today.
New ways to play with Kinect for Xbox 360.
Oh no, I'm a Kinect now. Are we going to see the Fable the Ride or whatever the hell it's called?
I don't know. Is
it so happy, Jeff?
I would love that. Yeah. I would go get my whiteboard and have you sign it and say this is not on rails.
Is available only on Xbox 360.
Yay.
There are way less fanboys in these things at this point because it is like much more polite applause.
Yes,
and stuff like
absolutely. This is before they realized that we need to just invite fans here because they'll just cheer at everything. Here he is. Mike's biggest fan.
Yeah, he loves me.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Good morning.
That's so funny. I sometimes somehow forget that. Yeah, that's right. Couldn't be Epic Games.
Yeah,
Gears of War. Right.
Right.
Sure.
Isn't that weird? Yes.
We're going to give you a live gameplay demonstration.
You want me to eat a dick, but I'm not the guy who left the studio before they launched Fortnite.
Lee Perry and Tina Wood, who will be helping me out.
3, the third one. Yeah, this was kind of when I was going on it. I played Gears of War 3, and like the 5, I was like, yeah, it sure was.
Yeah, more Gears.
I like Gears of War 1 quite a lot. I thought that was one of the first games of that generation that really super wowed me. It was one of the first games that had a really cool train level, and you know how it train levels.
Yeah, you're big train level guy.
Oh, I love it.
Do you like the train level in Shadow of the Empire, the Star Wars game?
I very much did.
That's fantastic. I like it too. It's not great level. It's bad level, but I still like it a lot.
It's not a train though.
Huh? Oh, is it a what is it? A hover lift? Is that what it is?
I said it is on a train. Yeah, it's gonna. Okay, I'm not that pedantic, Jeff.
Could have fooled me. There are 11 Mega Man games.
You can see why Kinect is pretty important for this show because, like, what otherwise is showing like the fifth Call of Duty of this generation, the third Gears of War.
Right. Good point.
Right. Like these things are almost helped at this point that these games now take 10 years to make. Because imagine like this generation, like if they're going to have to show the third Ratchet and Clank for PlayStation 5 in a few years, like people aren't going to care as much.
That's a good point, right? Then they'll be in that situation with some of those things. Like showing God of War for the third time, in a few years.
Yeah, but not to see even when they showed God of War, it's going to be the first one for PlayStation 5, so people are going to care. And
right? Yes, yeah, totally. But like when they show the third one, when they get to that point, that's when they'll start seeing diminishing returns. The sequels are all gonna be fine.
Yeah.
More guys back towards the base.
I mean, this is Gears of War.
Yep.
Cool, I guess. But so that was a neat moment. It's getting out more enemies.
Oh, you missed the active reload. Embarrassing, Cliff.
Okay, we didn't even do anything to help him. Just watch that guy get torn apart. This is very much in that earth tones, grays era of gaming.
Yeah, man. Lots of brown. Yeah.
Lots of earth tones.
Yeah. Even the green looks brown.
Even the colors that aren't brown somehow look brown. Like, look,
yes.
Yeah. Having an annoying time.
I guess it's desaturated is actually what it is, but it's ugly. It's not good. New Gears of War games look great now. Gears of War 5, I'm not a fan of playing it, but it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I think they found a better place. I mean, some of these things, even Horizon, right? Like, so much more colorful than a standard AAA game of this era.
And Mike, I'm surprised you didn't correct me. I said Gears of War 5. I meant Gears 5.
You know how much that upsets me that they just call it. I don't know why. It bothers me immensely. I think it's very stupid. Yeah, those are some bugs.
Oh, you can shoot the limbs.
Isn't it bizarre that there was a pretty direct lineage from Resident Evil 4 to Gears of War 1 to then basically every third-person game ever?
Yep. Resident Evil 4 really does. It's like the first of today's games, and then everything's kind of been Resident Evil 4 ever since.
Right.
I guess this game proved that it's like you could also just do a bunch of different stuff in that over-the-shoulder mode. But yeah.
Right, and then Sony saw it. It's like, that's what all of our games are going to be.
That's what we make now, yeah.
And they're great. Hey, this is like the first boss from Gears of War 1. I remember this thing. It was great. You're in that like building. Mm-hmm. And he was like all hearing, and it was fun stuff. Yeah, this is another long demo. I mean, at least it is gameplay, right? So like, I'm sure even back then people were like, I don't want to see a CG trailer, so hey.
But it's also, I mean, there's something to be said for like tempo and momentum, right? Like, yeah, you do gameplay stuff, and I guess you should, but maybe this is too much, and because if you're not interested in one of these games, you're gonna stop paying attention. Like, I mean, I get it. It's Gears of War. I'd like to move on now, please.
Right.
So I guess there's, the structure of these shows did change even from this. Like, yeah, you want a lot of gameplay, but you don't need a full playthrough of every single game. And if you do a gameplay demo, it doesn't need to be 15 minutes.
Yeah, and just compare us to the pacing of the PlayStation one we watched from 2015. Right. Look, it's another angry monster. Oh, well, what a cliffhanger. What a cliffy beehang.
Yeah, I was going to let it go. I was just going to let it pass by.
We'll be unveiling a new mode called Beast. Be sure you come by and check it out. We think you're going to like it.
Beast mode. I don't remember Beast mode.
I still play that every weekend with my boys.
No, you don't. You're lying.
Here he is.
Here he comes.
I hope he brings Milo.
Isn't it? He just fell off the face of the gaming planet.
Yeah. What was the name? Toucans is the name of the studio. I'm gonna look it up.
Well, they made that game where you mess around the blocks, and the guy won. He was supposed to get all the money from their next.
Yeah, but I don't think it made any money.
Money.
Incredible story, of course, a
Oopsie
car
doopsie.
second to none, loaded with choice and consequence,
And of course, the great
I hope he's showing the Fable game. What was that actually called?
action-packed gameplay.
I don't remember. Fable Legends. I don't know.
Was it Fable? Was it actually Fable the Ride? I was joking earlier.
I don't think so.
And beyond, with the choices and responsibility that power.
Fable 3 was just actually coming out at this point. Maybe it's just Fable 3.
When Fable 3 ships on
Yeah.
October
Yeah, there you go.
26th.
Yeah, because I feel like his Kinect games came later.
Yeah,
20
I hated
22
Fable
games.
3 with a passion, by the way.
Yeah, I feel like no one has any nice things to say about this one.
Yeah, it's awful.
I never played any of the Fable games, but no one says go back and play Fable 3.
It two seemed fun at the time. Fable 1 was like kind of disappointing, set against the expectations. Fable 3 is just bad. Just very boring. Like it was the most. Just keep pushing one button over and over again. It was so easy. It looked ugly as hell. Like the whole thing was like the second half you play as the king and you have to make these decisions. And it was just a bunch of stupid binary to like help this guy or this guy. And then later, like the one guy would be like, "I'm mad at you because you didn't help me." Like, what? Oh, the consequences. Holy.
Yeah, Goddess is his game that he made after Curiosity.
Did you play Goddess today? Did you play Goddess
So
today?
that's what I was going to say. You can buy Goddess Wars. You can buy Goddess Wars.
That's right.
I don't think you can buy Goddess anymore. Goddess has 5,728 reviews on Steam, and it has a mostly negative rating.
Yeah, Goddess Wars was the Radical Heights for Toucans. That was the last-ditch effort. That was an awful trailer, by the way. That game,
that one has very negative. So Goddess had mostly negative. Goddess Wars has very negative.
Emmy loves it.
Yes, she's into it. They won't be able to hear it on the recording. You can hear it though. I got the NVIDIA broadcast only on the recording. So, but yes, Emmy is very into Goddess Wars.
An exclusive title from one of the leading industry developers.
Ooh, could be.
Pushing the limits of technology. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Microsoft Game Studios' newest partner.
I'm excited to see what this is.
Yeah, 2010. I have no idea. Is that Rise?
Drown the throat of war. When the senses are shaken.
Is it Rise?
I thought that was announced like alongside Xbox One.
I think this is something we're not gonna remember.
When the souls of the oppressed
I mean, it's a CG trailer first off, so that's.
I don't think it's even CG. I mean, there's CG obviously, but I think that's a real man.
Is this Dante's Inferno?
No, it's Crytek. It's Rise.
Oh, I forgot that they announced Rise.
I had no idea they announced it at this point.
I thought that it was announced with that system, so they're just bringing it up here. They're not talking about Xbox One, obviously, yet.
Right. 2010, yeah.
Well, that's interesting. That's a surprise. Wasn't there a rumor about Rise 2 very recently out of nowhere? Codename Kingdom. Huh. That was a teaser of teasers, so that's interesting. I had no memory of that.
Me neither.
I thought Rise was just announced with the Xbox. So look at this. Isn't it interesting when we go back, the things we learn?
Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of stuff like that too, where it's the teaser was so non-substantial that you don't even register it. You're like, you immediately forget about it, because why even get excited about it if it's something I don't know what that game's going to be like? You show me that. Why would I care? And I ended up liking Rise more than most people.
A lot of people say no. A lot of people kind of defend Rise now. I never played it. My brother likes it a lot. The one who replaced me when I was gone.
You haven't experienced the world of Halo.
Yeah, that was nice.
Played it from the beginning.
How's his audio quality? Suck it.
Okay, listen.
Which Halo is this? Is this Halo 5?
Reach.
Is that a 360 game?
It says right there, Halo Reach.
Oh, Reach! Oh my gosh, yes. You know what? This is my first E3 because I remember there was a Halo Reach statue thing of some people, and I took a picture of it. Some guy like, you can't take a picture of it. I wanted to be like, dude.
What are you talking about? That's so weird.
Yeah, that's hard to believe that this was the last time Bungie made a Halo game.
Yeah, man, then more than a decade ago now then, yeah.
This was actually the first Halo I played all the way through at the time.
Here's a taste.
Didn't like it very much.
Yeah.
This is just a small.
I don't know. I never quite. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it with Halo. With this one specifically, I kind of don't get it because a lot of people have nice things to say about this one, and this one I actually did play all of, and I'm like, yeah, I guess that was a game. you went around, you shot things that looked okay.
Yeah, I think I touched this one, but I didn't really play much of it. Hey, not a Halo guy.
I'm just not a Halo guy. It turns out.
Yeah, one of those things I think you kind of had to be there, which might be a problem for the Halo series. If you had to be there for Halo 1 and you weren't all in at that point, kind of maybe the series might have a hard time growing. But
well,
what do I know?
Maybe that's what I think that's what Halo Infinite's original goal was, right? At some point.
Yeah. Now it's just the ship. Yeah, and the goal is now let's just put this game out for people to buy.
To release a video game. If Halo Infinite isn't a big deal, is that kind of it for Halo being one of the super top tier franchises, or is it already kind of out of that?
Yeah, I think it's already kind of out of that, and like this is it may be a chance to get back in there. But yeah, I think it's, I'm sure it's still Microsoft's Mario, but that's kind of a problem for Microsoft. You kind of have to have something else.
I think they need a new Mario, huh?
Yeah, for real. I listen, I know there's a lot of Halo fans, and a lot of people want to go specifically back to this heyday of like, what it was like when Bungie was still putting out Halo games. But Halo doesn't need to change. It can still just be for those fans. You just make more and new and better games. Like you have Elder Scrolls now. That could be your Mario. Yeah, put out Elder Scrolls 6, and that'll be the biggest game in the world, and you'll be fine.
Like, did the last Halo sell as much as Skyrim? I'd imagine not.
No.
I mean, of course, obviously Skyrim's on way more platforms, but
Right,
will
yeah.
Halo Infinite sell more than Elder Scrolls 6?
No.
I'd be surprised, but who
Yeah.
knows? I tell you what, this is Halo.
Yeah, and it's a lot of gameplay back in 2010, so good on them for that.
Yeah, so we're a few years away from. Remember when there was like every show had a giant Destiny section?
Yeah.
And everybody thought Destiny was going to be the biggest game ever because it was the Halo people making, like, they wouldn't call it an MMO back then, but they were basically making an MMO, and then it came out and it was first it was kind of like problematic, and then it became kind of good again, but surprisingly niche for what we all originally expected out of it, I think is the way to put it, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right. Yeah, man, it's still one of the bigger ones of those, but it's still very much for like its audience. Yeah, and that's, I guess, niche is how I would describe it. Yeah.
I still think they're nuts not to just do Destiny 3, but what do I know?
I guess they're treating this next expansion, or maybe it just came out, I don't know, as like a de facto Destiny 3.
But I don't know, it's not the same. It's just not the same as actually making Destiny 3.
I know.
I feel like we're 10 years away from just Bungie's making a new Halo for Microsoft.
Right, that feels within the realm of possibility. They have like 2025. Apparently, they'll have a new game coming out, and I think they're making it with Nexon or maybe NetEase, one of those publishers.
So, yeah, one of those Chinese companies.
Yeah, Chinese or Japanese, yeah, or Korean maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, like let's see what happens there, and if that's not like the biggest game in the world.
That looked goofy.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
There's like some cool stuff happening in this game. Like a little bit ago, one of the soldiers put on a shield, and a guy drove into him, and because he was shielded, he just stood still, and the ride crashed, and the guy fell off it. And that's like, okay, that's cool. That's like a cool gameplay thing that can happen. But it's like this is I don't know. The game doesn't look quite as cinematic as I think you need a giant first-party pillar game like this to look.
Right. They just looked at that platform, whatever that was, as if it was like the most amazing thing we'd ever seen in a game. And even back then, there's no way.
Right.
It's a post-Uncharted 2 world.
Yes, good point.
I certainly remember this never felt like nearly as big a deal as Halo 3 did, right? Halo 3, despite whatever it was when it came out, and a lot of people did like Halo 3, when it was coming out, it felt like the biggest deal ever. Like, say what I will for Halo, that Halo 3 marketing campaign was maybe the all-time greatest marketing campaign. Mm-hmm. I still think about that trailer with like the old veterans and the diorama.
Yeah, the diorama, yes.
Like, man, that was an effective commercial. I wish the actual game had a tenth of the emotion of that commercial did, because I would have played that game. But yeah, so... But this, I don't know. I think they tried. Well, there was like the Remember Reach tagline or something. They tried to tap into some of that, but I don't know.
Right.
Once again, vehicle section.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, these vehicle sections always feel like they're for marketing. They always feel like, oh, we want people to feel like it's going to be a lot more expansive and cool than what it actually is going to be. And then when you play it, it's got to be very simplified and basic, and yeah.
I think they are smart. I feel like this is gonna end up being 2 shows almost. We're gonna get all this core stuff.
Yeah,
and then we're going
the
to get the Kinect stuff.
Xbox Live has changed the way the world plays video games. It started with
That's
Halo,
true.
the franchise that introduced millions
Start
of
with Halo
people
2, you
around the
idiot.
world to multiplayer gaming. Then Xbox Live went beyond gaming by adding
It started with
movies,
Sega Swirl.
music, and social networking. Today,
Zune. Hell yes. They still had a Zune logo there.
Oh, there's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Making it simple.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, is the audio messed up? Yeah. All right.
It was.
And now, with Kinect,
He's gonna yell at some intern when he gets back there.
also making it simpler to
Yell, he's gonna stab him.
Kinect sensor detects
like I do.
Yeah.
sound in very sophisticated ways.
Motorized tilt.
Multi-array mic.
Listen,
Making it seem like the most advanced thing ever.
technology like this, there are no barriers and no learning curves.
Like,
Oh no.
Kinect.
When you combine the power of the Xbox 360
Kinect very much was a much better idea than what PlayStation was doing, because like you could tell PlayStation was like, well, we already have this camera, let's just like see if we can sell some more of those and maybe put some. And then Microsoft's like, we have all this cutting edge technology, we have trillions of dollars, let's use all that stuff and make something new.
Like, to be fair, like the PlayStation Move stuff, like the controllers were very, for being Wii controllers, they were very good Wii style controllers. They were better than the Wii ones. And if you got like their minigame compilations, those were sometimes even better than the Wii minigame compilations. They were great. It's just, who cares, because people have already seen that. Of course, this is new, right? And it's similar but new, so it's definitely the much smarter way to make money.
Yes, definitely.
The first thing I'll do is show you how easy it is to sign in. All I have to do is wave.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about just being signed in by this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And once I'm signed in, all I have to do now is just wait.
Yeah, this is it's weird how many different UIs the Xbox 360 had and how radically different they all were from each other.
Here on this easy to use
Like when I think of the 360, I still think of the blades, even though that was like what, 3 years in the beginning.
Yeah, right. They like stopped using the blades on the 360 even. Yeah.
my games.
This is a pretty sad time for Rare too, because Rare was the people, they were the ones making Kinect adventures.
Yeah.
Everything's in one.
I mean, they did clearly. Rare got to a point where they didn't want to just make that old stuff anymore. But that, like, the stuff they were making was not very inspiring.
It's a very natural way to access my entertainment. But what could get any easier than just using my voice to select something? All I have to do is say Xbox, and Kinect is listening.
Oh my god.
Just say Zune.
Honestly, the biggest failure for all of this from Microsoft is like not making the Kinect just a standalone smart speaker back when they could have. Because now everyone's got Google things in their house and they got a Alexa in their house. And if they would have just made Kinect something like that, then focused on the smart speaker stuff way back then, it would have been so far ahead of the curve, and people would have actually used like Cortana on their computer. Now, no one's going to do any of that stuff because everyone's already built into one of the other ecosystems. It was just such a drop of the ball.
Alexa before Alexa and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that awful, oh my god, that awful Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland movie that got a sequel.
Yeah, because it was a 3D movie. It was like an early 3D movie, so it had, like, did really good at the box office.
It's one of those hilarious false equivalencies where like this movie made a ton of money and it was only because of that weird circumstance. So they made an expensive sequel that no one saw.
Yeah, it did really bad. I think I don't have no idea where I was. I might have been traveling for work, but I think my wife, then girlfriend, went to see that movie with my parents. Something that's a very odd thing to me, and I don't know why, but yeah.
Still trying to get some good graces in.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Oh my god, he just paused that movie with his voice! Oh my god!
I used the Kinect for that stuff on the Xbox One more than this, but on the Xbox One all the time for years and years and years, and I finally, like, at a certain point, maybe it was the Xbox One X, a year later, one day I unplugged the Kinect and just never plugged it back in because you had to use like a weird adapter and like you had to have it plugged in separately. And so I just stopped using it. It was a bummer because like being able to just say, hey, Xbox pause was useful for a very long time. But now all of like smart speakers are connected to the Xbox and I use that instead.
I mean, now we're doing a Justin Bieber song. This is very uncomfortably hip. You can see how this is the company that's going to create the Xbox One, the all-in-one entertainment system in a couple years.
And you could tell, like, you know, why wouldn't they? The Kinect sold so many, and why wouldn't we make everybody have a Kinect with their Xbox?
It's funny how the success of the Kinect hurts them because they kind of like, it's just like with Alice in Wonderland. There was a very specific reason why Kinect was successful, and it really wasn't about the quality of the Kinect, and they didn't understand that, so of course they make a sequel or what have you, and it hurts them. It doesn't make money, and they had to very quickly be like, never mind. Actually, the Kinect, because for so long the story was the Xbox One is built around the Kinect. You can't possibly have an Xbox One with the Kinect, which for a system that was, you know, the current generation a year ago, incredible to think.
Just a bizarro world that we actually lived in. We actually lived in that bizarro land.
Yeah, the Xbox One was built around Kinect and cable television. Like,
right, plugging in your cable TV. Man, listen, I get that, like, people were watching a lot of TV on consoles because Netflix was getting gigantic at this point. And so when the Netflix app came out, like, they've talked about the Netflix app like 3 times, or at least shown it 3 separate times on this thing. I get it, but in 2013, I could have told you that cable TV was not going to be a thing to bet on in any way. What a weird concept. Michael Pechter always had that thing where it's like, oh, like you're going to get an Xbox One from your cable company, and then you'll just use that as your cable box. And it's like, man, I could, like, even if it does happen, like 3 people are going to do that. Like my parents, maybe.
Yeah.
But of course, that is on the way out. It's just so weird that they went down these paths that even then I could have told them would have been bad ideas.
I just noticed, are all these things in the background supposed to be like camera lenses?
It kind of, it looks like that. They like glow on and off though. I wonder like if they're like phasing in or out, or if they only glow when they talk about Kinect or something.
Hey, Mark.
What I love about Kinect
focus.
is that it's not just about video games. The sensor also
What I love about Kinect is that it's not just about video games. There's the beginning of that message, which is would be so toxic now. No one would, they would never say that stuff.
Yes,
that was exactly.
Well, because of Microsoft.
Yeah, this is a media box, and they were doing it with the Xbox 360 towards the end and having some success with it. Remember how annoying that was? That was all that stuff, right? Like you had to just hover your hand cursor over a thing for a long enough time to select it. It was awful.
Eventually, with the Xbox One, you would be like, you could squeeze, and then, but that didn't work every time. It was just a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Terrible idea.
Just you know, I mean, it's a thing with the Wii, right? Where it became annoying because it could detect your inputs 95% of the time, but that 5% when it didn't was very frustrating. The Kinect could be like 80% of the time it would detect your.
But like, if you like I want to.
Like, if you use a controller, it's 100% of the time.
Yeah, and I want to go play Punch Out on the Wii, and I want to play it with the controller. Like even setting up, it's like I got to make sure that I'm talking about like today. I have to like make sure I have the bar set up so I can actually point this thing to actually get inside of Punch Out on the Wii, and it's like such a frustrating experience. Just let me use a controller.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
Was video chat on our phones not that much of a thing yet at this point?
No, it was coming soon. Like FaceTime was probably around, but there wasn't a lot of this. You know, 20. You're like, oh my god.
Please watch Star Trek. No, what the hell is this?
The Last Airbender. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Wow.
Just
great associations here with nothing but quality.
It's very important for us to remember just how long ago 2010 was.
Yeah, like think about it this way: the iPhone was like 3 years old at this point.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Stuff like news, sports, and entertainment, whatever's hot that day. So now we'll have even more stuff.
Man, look at this. It's Video Connect, Skype, Bing. Like they're everything.
Bing. Where's Google Plus?
Yeah. Yes.
It
Might have been after this, actually.
Oh
That
yeah, I
might be
think so. I think I was like
2014.
2012ish or something. Man, Google Plus.
Kinect tracks your
I'm
skeleton.
like, I didn't realize I was kind of nostalgic for a weird 2010 like
Yeah.
emerging tech. It was what it was more entertaining than I thought.
So there's one more thing I want to show.
Back when like so like the smartphones were becoming popular, so everybody was trying to add those features into things, not realizing that of course it's just the smartphones who are going to like be good at that stuff, and that's what everyone's going to use. People aren't going to video chat on their goddamn Xbox.
You could pin Skype to the Xbox One, man.
As you can see, Video Kinect lets families talk to families and friends talk to friends.
Here's the thing, like it's a good show, right? They did a good show. They showed a bunch of big bangers up front. Not all those games were for
Big
me.
franchise games.
Yeah. Big franchise games with gameplay that mostly looked pretty good. And then you go to focus on this Kinect stuff. And I think I remember like listening to podcasts at the time, and the conversations were, or go on message boards. The conversations were like, yeah, there's some games, but like, what is this Kinect thing? Is this going to be anything for us? Or should we be worried that like, if this takes off, are we going to get fewer of the games we like? And that was the hardcore talking. But, you know what? I think people were right to be a little concerned because they obviously went down this path. And I think we thought it was like, oh, they're going to make kiddie games like the Wii. And there was some of that stuff. But really the problem was they could tell that we're watching a lot of Netflix on our Xboxes. And so they're going to stop making games and focus on multimedia stuff. And I don't think we realized that as much. Is this the NFL partnership? ESPN? Okay.
Wow. Is that Ori playing in your background? How long has that been going on?
The
Is that
entire
just
time.
For my benefit? Wow, thank you. I appreciate it.
Everyone could see it, yeah.
I almost wore my Ori shirt. I should have.
It's a 32 by 9, and I'm like, I might want to try to play that game like that. I wonder what that'd be like. Ori might almost be too small on the screen like that, but I don't know.
Yeah, but it's because. Man, yeah, so this is weird. No, but to your point, like, I don't think that many people at the time were like, oh, this was a bad show.
Right. Yeah,
so,
we
like,
didn't know.
With the Nintendo E3 with Wii Music, we all knew that was a bad show at that time. I watched a lot of SportsCenter at this time, actually.
Me too.
I was watching ESPN, like, religiously.
Same. If at this time, if I would have had an easy way to watch SportsCenter without a cable package, I would have done it. Like, I think I might have still had cable specifically to watch stuff like SportsCenter, and it would have been on all the time in my house.
Yeah, it was like my comfort thing was just putting ESPN on because it was. They talked about it was like 5 shows all talking about the same thing, so it was very simple content. I would just put it on, fall asleep, and they talk about sports. Sports are very low stakes, so it's entertaining to listen about.
Right.
What?
Comedy.
Oh, he's coming out. I remember I got to go to the ESPN office. In LA to meet Kenny Omega.
Totally.
I like that a lot. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. The year before I met not Bill Russell. What's the tall guy that always looks like he's high? Does NBA broadcasting?
I don't know.
Good point. Never mind.
Bill Simmons?
Yes, Bill Simmons. Yes, thank you.
I actually did know. How about that? I'm not as big a fucking nerd that I thought I was.
Has Bill Simmons ever been on a WWE event?
Yeah, he's done wrestling stuff quite a bit, actually.
So that's how you knew. Okay, all right, let's be clear.
I did used to watch a lot of ESPN. He was the great guy and all that stuff.
He was very nice. He was very kind. He was like, hey, yeah, like, I used to have a problem with stuttering. If anyone ever has a problem with that, contact me. Here's my card. He was great.
Here's like I said, Kenny Omega was nice too. He destroyed me in Street Fighter V.
Yeah,
which I expected for a guy who named his one finishing move after Street Fighter V.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I think I confirmed is a game that people like now. We had that argument last time, right?
And I confirmed that it's not. Like, I got a lot of messages in the comments. If you, look at the comments. The people are like, "You're right, Jeff. No, no one likes Street Fighter V. Everyone likes Street Fighter 4 better."
No, I just don't. The one people really like was Street Fighter 3, which slaps. Do you say it slaps anymore?
We do because we're old and not very interesting.
Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I just watched videos of that. I'm like, now there's a video game.
Well, who wouldn't, Josh?
Man.
I mean, come on. Hey,
this is going on for a very long time, by the way. Hey, Ohio State.
Yeah.
OH.
Yeah. Watch this.
I'm not actually a big college guy. Most my all my sports interests are in Cleveland.
I lived in Columbus, right next to the Ohio State campus, so and I'm a Michigan fan.
You're a Michigan fan, so I'm sure that was interesting.
I was, and really all through those years, Michigan has been terrible against Ohio State, so not great, and still is.
Have you ever watched a football game with old people, like in your family? Because they hate when the football players celebrate in the end zone.
Yeah,
they act like they're being stabbed while it happens. It's always very weird. Like that's just some old guy thing, I guess, about like I don't know, sportsmanship or something or modest.
They don't even know. It's like
I think it's some old standard and that does
right.
not
They're like Joe Namath ruined it all. It's like yeah, okay.
It's been much worse since then.
Yep.
Everything was better when you were younger, especially the Xbox 360.
That is correct, my friend. Sports fans on Xbox.
What is the all-time best Xbox 360 game?
Oblivion's up there. Skyrim, was that on? That was Xbox One and PS.
360. It's
No,
just
it
bizarre.
wasn't it?
Oblivion
Man, that
and
is
Skyrim
weird.
were both on the same system because
Weird.
those games are so far apart.
Yeah.
Someone just said today that we are now as far from Skyrim as Skyrim was from Morrowind when it
That
came
is
out.
messed
which
up.
is Morrowind, Oblivion, Morrowind.
Yeah, that's hard to deal with. And we're still years away from an Elder Scrolls 6, so yeah. It's gonna be like multiple generations between Skyrim and Elder Scrolls 6. I guess they did Elder Scrolls Online. I guess if you count that, it's a little bit different, but yeah.
But
Yeah, what were you gonna say?
Xbox 360 is probably like, it's like the most system I associate with like multi-platform games ever. Like
Yes,
all my
totally.
favorite games for it were games that came out for like there was some good like I said, I'm not much of a Halo guy. I like Gears of War, fine, but like the games I think about are Mirror's Edge, BioShock 1, Braid even.
I think Geometry Wars is probably one of my favorite, like Pac-Man Championship Edition.
Mass
Like
Effect.
that stuff.
Right. Castle Crashers.
Right, yeah.
And we are out of here. Thanks a lot, everybody. Back to you, Mark.
That was a very long segment about you can watch ESPN on Xbox 360.
I bet it was like a pretty tough like deal to put together, and so they probably felt
Sure.
internally that it was like, oh, this is a really big deal. But yeah, I mean, I watching video sports content away from a cable package definitely would have been a pretty big deal. But it was, I think the reality of that sucked. I think trying to actually watch ESPN stuff on a console without a cable package was miserable. You never could watch what you wanted to watch. So yeah, it was just a bad idea.
That's the thing with this show. Like everything they're showing is probably fine, but all of it is going on for 5 minutes longer than it needs to.
Yes, absolutely. Right. They did not have the pacing down. I think and Xbox still struggles with that a little bit, but now it's in the other direction where they're like, let's just show a CG trailer and move on, and like people don't want that either. You gotta find a happy medium.
You're right.
Yep.
Now we have a video of a frog eating a pixie, and there's a new fable out.
Yeah, and it goes by too fast, and a lot of that they just don't have a lot to show. Look, the camera lenses in the back are now dim, so what's going on there?
It's fancy. So is it next year? Must be the E3 where they made everybody wear raincoats, right?
Yeah.
For the Kinect, and they had the rotating stage.
Yeah.
Because I remember our boss, not Jeff Grubb, Dan Shu was there, and he was there, and he was just talking about how weird it was. I think he gave me one of the wristbands he had to wear.
I think so. I think I got a wristband from someone at some point too. Yeah, I did not go to it.
That are truly social, not just people playing games at the same time, but experiences that unite your friends and family around a
I hope he's going to talk about 1 versus 100 because that will save a lot of this for me.
Yeah, that would be great. But was that was a 360 game, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was 360. Yeah, and it was fantastic. It was super cool.
They should just bring it back as like a special event. Like maybe just do it during the summer, and maybe just have it like with like guest hosts and stuff every once in a while, and bring it back around E3 time. Like obviously they're not going to do it this year.
With us as the hosts.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be
like
fantastic.
We have chemistry. Oh,
yeah, totally.
Oh no,
man.
There's a kid. This poor child. This child is now like an adult, right?
Yeah, it's been 11 years, Mike. Yes. She's probably twice her age. Yeah.
This is back when we were still chasing that Nintendogs thing. Man, that's so bizarre that Microsoft had a first-party answer to Nintendogs on the Xbox 360.
Nintendogs, another like global smash hit though back then.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but Nintendogs plus cats, not so much.
That's good.
One of those things. It was kind of a one time.
Right. Yes.
Ready, set, good. Now
I think this is teaching kids a bad lesson about exotic animals. They're not your pets.
Yeah. Joe Exotic watched this or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Man, that guy came and went too.
That was a last year thing. That was an early pandemic thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
get up. More playtime. Get up. Good. Now go get your toy.
You think she's actually playing on the Kinect right now?
No.
I mean, I wouldn't. If I was in charge, I'd be terrified of that.
Yeah. No way.
Don't tell my height.
But it's like
Oh my god.
You also don't do this. Like you just never should. Like you do it as a like Google is really good about this when they do like their showcases. They just make emotional trailers that show off like why you would care about any of this tech. And they don't they don't just demonstrate the tech on stage unless it's really mind blowing, where it's like you could tell your phone to like make a call for you to cancel an appointment or something like that. Like doing that live on stage is mind blowing because it's like, oh my god, AI is there. But this stuff, it's like just show it in a snappy sort of really well edited video. I guess you want to prove that it works, but like I don't believe it. I just don't believe that this is real.
This is a long sequence for this little girl to have memorized. Like all I'm seeing are the strings of like the rehearsals.
Yeah, but yes,
sweaty Microsoft executives.
Right. Yeah, but this is why you hired you hired like the professional little girl to come out there and do this. We should look and see if there's like an oral history of this sort of stuff, and if not, we should see if we can find this girl and actually do an oral history of this event.
She just had to pretend like the thing was actually licking her. It's like, oh come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be clear, good job. Much better, like quote unquote acting than like the execs they have to wheel up.
Yeah, totally. The execs that came on stage and did the video call. Yeah.
That was rough. I remember seeing that box for Kinect was Best Buy like 5 years.
I really want to get an Xbox 360 out with a Kinect and connectables and make my kids play the game and see what happens, see how it goes.
No.
They've like this thing doesn't work.
They clearly had very high hopes for Kinectables.
Yeah.
I hope we see Sonic Riders Gravity or whatever the one was called that used the Kinect. We can see our Albatross friend.
Okay. Good morning, Albatross.
Was Storm the Albatross? I remembered his name.
Warmed up first.
Kinect Sports. Yeah, all right. So Wii Sports obviously a big hit.
Yeah, you had to have a Kinect Sports game, of course.
I feel like Kinect Adventures was more interesting just because for some reason it reminded me more of Disneyland. I think it had a bit of a Jungle Cruise vibe to it just because you were on a raft.
What was there a Disney Kinect game?
Yes. There was, and so it was very annoying to control because you had to control it with the Kinect, so you just had to hold your arm out to move in that direction.
Oh, gross.
And there's a lot of the hovering, but the 3D like version of Disneyland they brought to life was fantastic, and they re-released it on Xbox One and PC not too long ago. You could just walk around.
Okay, so it's that one that I have played because I played that with my kids, and yeah, and it's a really good recreation of Disney. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really great. I just wrote about the Magic Kingdom game they made for the NES in 1990, and it's such like a very surprisingly faithful spiritual successor to that. So yeah, so I liked that game. I mean, the mini games are still all very much like, oh, this is meant for like stupid Kinect mini games. So whatever, it's a lot of leaning, a lot of pointing, whatever. But like walking around that Disneyland, like I would go to some of the more obscure places I know as like a weird Disney guy, and they would be there, and that would make me happy.
I can't wait to see what this is gonna look like. Yep, there it goes.
Like how well is can the Kinect possibly really track your knees moving that fast?
Right,
I just don't believe it.
I believe that there's like tech that could do that really well today. Because there's like a lot of really good 3D cameras now, and yeah, but like back then, it was not doing a very good job. It was just like trying to see if you were moving, basically. If you were moving, yes.
So like, do you think we are going to like have someone try this again? Like once the because I mean, at some point we're going to be 20 years from this, and obviously the technology must be so much better that we can actually. Was the concept so intriguing that once the technology is there, it's worth exploring again, or is it just who cares? Controllers are fine.
No, I think it's going to be in smartphones. I think it's going to be like because the iPhone already has like area connection, like radar and lidar and all this stuff, and it can you know, it's almost like a self-driving car without the car attached to it, so it can like recognize the world and see what's in 3D space, and you could just like set it on your table and maybe beam something to your TV and then do all this stuff, and it all happened right there on the phone. So
we know like people like video games. You don't need to like try to reinvent them on game consoles. People like video games with controllers. I think there's a big
people like
concern.
movies, and movies haven't changed in hundreds of 100 years. So it's like, yeah, it's that same thing.
I remember even Miyamoto was a big proponent of it at this time. The idea that controllers were this big inhibiting thing.
Right.
And it's just like, you know, now I see 3-year-olds immediately become experts at using iPads, and I don't buy that for a second anymore. Right. Like, we're all fine controllers. It's like, obviously, you get an older person and be like, you're going to play Dead Space 2. And it's go. But what are you gonna do? Like, that's not for them. They're gonna go back home and listen to a Johnny Cash record, you know?
Right. Yes. Exactly. Go put it on an 8-track. Yeah. It was a matter of time, and I think we saw that. Like now, 3D Mario's sell very well, and forever it was like 2D Mario sell better because people don't know how to handle camera controls. It's too complicated. Well, no, we were just waiting for the generation that grew up on 3D to get old enough to be able to like spend money on games themselves, and now they all are at that age and they're buying 3D games. And Fortnite is going to create a whole generation of people that like grew up on dual stick shooters.
Oh gosh,
and, yeah, and it's like it's not going to be a problem at all anymore. And that game's like relatively complicated, like building tools built into it, and you have to do it like really fast.
Thing, like the games that are really popular with kids are incredibly complicated, like Minecraft,
broken, like Roblox is like broken and stuff. It's like, and like the kids make the things themselves, so it's like also really esoteric. And so yeah, games are just gonna be weirder and weirder and more complicated as we get older. And
that's what I always get
controls won't be able to issue.
Like Yoshi's Crafted World. Like let's make it more for babies. It's like that's not how kids work.
No.
I have no memory of this game, by the way. There was a Kinect car game.
Kinect Joyride, man. I bet you find this for like $1 in like mom and pop video game resellers.
Why does it look like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon?
Yeah.
The boost. Oh god. Like here's a good example. How could this possibly be better than just using?
No. Yeah. I mean, like when you drive, you have a controller. Like so. Yeah.
Even Mario Kart Wii, which was a big hit, and partly because of like the promise of using that stupid wheel thing. I think everybody was quickly like, okay, it's actually just way easier to use.
I never even bought that game because I didn't want to like. I was like, it doesn't look as good as like Double Dash, and they're emphasizing all this motion control stuff, and I don't care about that.
It wasn't as good as the DS one. The DS Mario Kart was fantastic.
I played the DS one to death at that time. Yeah, absolutely.
This game is called Kinect.
Then the 3DS was very good, and then Mario Kart 8 is the most successful racing game ever. So.
Yeah. Mike, we haven't actually commented on Kudo Sonata. I think that's his name. Who is this man in the get-up here? How do you feel about his look?
I feel like he works for T-Mobile.
Yeah. He looks like he's gonna sell you a Kia Soul. Yeah, like so that kind of thing.
I feel like I'm gonna get a free like purple spatula next month or something.
Okay.
Like, look at this is what a lot of the Disneyland Kinect mini games were right here.
And a lot of this stuff turned into virtual reality. Like virtual reality is about like moving around in space and ducking and doing kinds of stuff like that. But it's like you're actually in the game at that point, and that helps a lot.
This is fucking Nick Arcade.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah,
this is Nick Arcade.
I always thought Nick Arcade. When I was a kid, I'm like, they're in the game, and it took me a long time to realize, like, oh, it's blue screen stuff.
Yeah, right. But no, this is what that was. Like this, this looks more interesting to me because this is almost more honest in a way about what the Kinect can do. Yeah, it could see how my limbs are positioning, and it could probably tell if I'm standing like 3 feet here or 3 feet over to the left.
Mm-hmm.
There's like some pretty mountain, like alpine landscape for some reason. So why not? But we can see these people are still getting hit by things that they are clearly trying to dodge.
Right. I mean, you could tell like the tracking is taking a second. Like the frame rate on the arms is like lower than the rest of the game because that's like how fast the Kinect can update like the position of the arms. It's just kind of. Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff like that would do a good job of selling Kinect. Like you think like that looks like fun, and you got all these fun pictures. It's gonna be a good party game. That's the stuff that worked, I think, in terms of selling this.
I remember Fruit Ninja was actually like surprisingly popular with Kinect. Like that worked pretty well.
Yeah, Fruit Ninja's like a popular arcade game now with like the same sort of concept.
Yeah,
I think it's a touchscreen game actually, but of course it is.
Yeah. But do you think there's one more thing for this show even? Like what would it be?
I don't know.
I think it's just gonna fizzle out.
Yeah.
This is the thing that reminded me of Jungle Cruise.
Of course it is. Most things remind you of Jungle Cruise, Mike.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
This does look like it looks like fun. It looks like fun.
Yeah. So there was Disney made an their own kind of like Dave and Buster's / GameWorks thing called Disney Quest for a little bit, and one of the things was a kind of Jungle Cruise ride where you were on a paddle, like you were on an inflatable thing like this with a screen in front of you, and you had like rowing controllers, and you rowed across the stream. It was very much like this.
Yeah.
Better. This is looking pretty rough. Like jumping.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the jump is weird.
Look, this banter is not it's not convincing anybody. This has to be. I feel so bad for these people. This has to be so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, you have to just buy into it. You have to like ignore everything and just go, yeah, do that, and just like, I'm just gonna woo.
But that's the problem. Like, even at this point, I think we kind of knew who was watching E3, but there's still that conception that E3 was this big. This reaches everybody. This is the only time everybody's working, like, or watching. Right. So, like, you know, don't even worry about the hardcore gamers. Of course, they're already buying. And now it's like, yeah, there's so many hardcore gamers. We can just tailor the whole thing to them all the time.
Yes,
and try to sell them things.
Oh my God, Facebook.
Facebook integrate. There's some weird-ass Facebook there.
There's an adventure fit for you. But great experiences for Kinect, they're not just coming from all of us here at
you asked me about this guy. The sunglasses are upsetting me.
Yeah, it's not. He does look kind of like a pervert.
Thank you very much.
I mean, I wasn't gonna go there. But
yeah, I mean, just like I would, if I saw him at the public swimming pool, I would tell my kids to stay away. Like, yeah.
Microsoft is always ready to jump on board the new thing, aren't they, man? They supported the Wii U, and here they are at the Kinect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they never missed an opportunity.
Like, yeah, I think this game actually did so well because, I mean, Wii Fit was obviously a giant hit. And so, yeah, of course, they have one for Kinect.
I mean, I like the idea of the Kinect on the Xbox One when it launched because of the fitness stuff. Like, and it's like you're just gonna have like fitness is just an app here where you can just.
I'm sorry, the cardio coach is killing me. I did not hear anything you said. Nick the cardio coach just appearated and then like winked at that girl, and then they did like some weird like dance steps.
That's what exercise is like in France. Yep.
If Microsoft ever makes a Smash Bros, I want Nick the cardio coach.
Nick the cardio coach. All right, yeah, that's our new mascot here.
That's for your shape fitness involved. Nick the cardio coach. I think they were flirting. I don't know.
I do wish that we could like go back and like reselect the memes that we got out of shows and stuff like that and make Nick the cardio coach a thing.
Hey, if that happened today, it'd be a meme.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, that was enough for that game. Now we're gonna see like much more of it. Why?
Yeah.
I get it.
It's a game that's going to transform forever the way that we think about
fitness. You're gonna sell this thing on Oprah. What you're talking about right now, not here.
Right. And the trailer itself was like, that did a good job of like telling us what it's like. I guess you're still trying to prove that Kinect works.
Oh, this trailer is, by the way. It said Project Natal. It didn't even say Kinect.
Right.
As you can see,
sorry to cut off, but I don't respect it.
Players physically inside of the game environment. That's actually me in the virtual world, including my sweater.
Okay.
Through the magic of Kinect, we're changing the way that you think
I don't know, Jeff.
I don't know. I'm like trying to like.
And feel the magic. of my environment.
This girl's stripping and waving her hands like she's doing magic. I just don't know what to say anymore. Like, we're supposed to be impressed by this heat map, but it's kind of shitty.
Right? Like, yeah, it's struggling to tell where like she begins in the room, or where she ends in the room begins, and yeah, I don't know.
Real hard time with her hair.
Yeah.
You know, I think that the whole heat map thing is bullshit because it thinks her hair is very hot, which I feel like can't possibly be true.
Right, it's got to be like a density sort of thing, because it's not like actually tracking her temperature back then. Like a camera like that would have been really expensive. But again, it looks like technology, Mike. It looks like tech, and so
it looks like very advanced stuff at the time. Sure, I get it. I mean, now I probably, have an app on my phone that can tell me how tall I am from a picture, so whatever.
Now that the game knows my physical dimensions, I'm ready to get moving. To help me show you how this works, I'd like to introduce to you one of several fitness experts who've helped us design the great workouts in Your Shape Fitness Evolved.
Bring back to the stars. What's this? I already forgot his name. My guy,
Nick the cardio coach.
Yeah, I knew you're. That's not Nick the cardio?
No.
And I've truly enjoyed.
Bring back Nick.
Yeah. Big Dick Nick. Big Dick Nick.
He had exercise clothes. He's just wearing.
Yeah.
Like what?
This is just LA guy. This is every guy in LA.
Why did that girl just come out without that jacket on? Why did she come out? I don't know. I got
that right, to show that the sweater was being tracked too. I don't know.
Play fun gym activities.
Fun gym activities.
To give you a glimpse of the overall experience, we'll show you a portion of each section in today's demo.
I mean, I think they're approaching going much longer on Kinect than they ever did on the other stuff, and the other stuff felt like it was going long.
Right, but there was really only like 4 or 5 games we saw.
Right, yeah. Right? Yeah, Call of Duty, Gears, Halo. Was there something else?
A little bit of what would become Rise. We saw
right, true.
Fable 3, and it was awful.
Yeah.
As Felicia plays, the instructions from the coach appear in the upper right corner, so she can easily.
They would never, ever do anything like this again.
No.
Like 11 years ago is a long time, but not that long, and it's incredible. This would, and you're right. There were a lot of people who were like kind of clutching their pearls a bit, like, oh no.
Yeah. Right. I mean, we'd already been doing that because of the Wii, though, and so that was like, okay, now.
Wii and, Facebook.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Farmville, everybody's like, oh, gaming's gonna die. And you could see why people thought that, like, oh, this is what it's gonna become. We're never gonna get, a big, like, Morrowind-y things again. But no, it turned out all very different.
Yep.
Now let's do some.
But it's like our criticisms at that time were like, right, they were correct. Like you are actually kind of going after the wrong audience. I guess like the Blue Ocean thing that Nintendo would always talk about. Yeah, go for it, I guess. But it's if you but maybe do it as like an additional thing on top of other stuff, and maybe in different venues.
There's a place for Ring Fit Adventures on the Switch and it'd be a hit, but like that doesn't need to have 10 minutes at E3.
Right.
Or be like, you can have that without trying to position your system as centered around that.
Right, like Labo. Like Labo they didn't even like send us Labo at first. Like it was like, oh, this is for a different audience, and it's like, okay, yeah, go for it.
Fine. To our first session of Zen Energy class. Our focus today is to.
I remember the Kinect really struggled when there was more than one person.
Yeah,
like it was just a nightmare with that stuff. If it was just the one person, it could kind of keep up. And you even saw it, right, when those 2 girls were doing the raft thing.
Right. And
it was rough.
And I think like it's it's supposed to be like a depth camera, but you can see it's not very good actually at the depth stuff. Like when she moves her arms and she puts it out in front of her, it's like the camera thinks it's like actually still at the same like depth as her face, and so it makes her face disappear. And that would be the issue with stuff like that mech game where you were supposed to be controlling a giant panel in front of you, and you'd reach out to hit a switch or hit a button, and it never knew like where your hand actually was in 3D space. That seems to be the thing it's actually worst at, and it really should have been the thing it was best at.
Right. It's like I remember, the Kinect 2.0 that came with Xbox One. It was an improvement. But it was an improvement, but also somehow worse.
Right. Yeah. I just think it was an improvement. I think that they didn't figure out all the interaction stuff or like the menu stuff, and so just using it felt more frustrating.
You've just seen how no other fitness
This
experience
is
delivers such a wide
so long
variety
for
of
this.
exercise options.
Yeah, way too long.
It gives you precise feedback on all your moves like we
I
can.
want, like, it's funny because there are a lot of people who liked the first half of this show and probably are still here because they are interested in the tech, maybe, but more so they're probably desperately hoping for a one more thing.
Right, yeah.
Thank you.
But it's like, you know, they're structuring the show for USA Today, and it's like, let's get the big stuff out of the way, and now let's talk to that bigger audience that might be able to book us on Oprah or whatever. So yeah.
Oh no, this was the first of many like harmonics, like we can't quite make another rock band again.
Right.
Things, of which there have been many. I even liked Fantasia, which is basically just this with Disney.
Dance Central was like the Kinect game, though, I think, or at least the Kinect game that like people in gaming circles talked about.
Well, that was the weird thing, is that Dance Central became so Dance Central was okay. Wasn't there another one? Well, Just Dance was around this time and became the bigger hit.
Right.
That's right. Yeah, it's still around. Yep. Because it doesn't actually care that much about tracking you appropriately, so kids like it.
And it's on everything, yeah.
Right.
Like Dance Central was a Kinect game, I think. So yeah,
So
like,
remember Star Wars Kinect?
Yes, I know. I never played it, but I remember it.
It had the
Han Solo.
I actually, that was like my favorite part of that game, and I always thought it was very weird how upset the Star Wars fans got with that. Like, oh, how dare they make a mockery of Star Wars? To me, that was much less offensive than the like Kinect Star Wars lightsaber combat.
Right.
thing.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna have to mute this music. So do you want to fill it in for people? You want to do some of your own singing?
I don't know what song this is.
I know, you just make it up whatever you want. They're not gonna know what this is either. It's like Poison, but you could sing Happy Birthday or something.
Oh, believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
I'm just gonna play that. I'm gonna loop that.
Flying so high on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me.
Exclusively for Kinect on Xbox 360. At Harmonix, we're always.
I think Alex Rogopoulos is still at Harmonix. Yeah.
To this end, for years we've.
Yeah, this guy's undershirt is not matching his face.
No, yeah.
This guy looks like my Tax 29 agent.
Yeah,
he's got like decals.
Right. Yeah, this is my face is why I don't wear certain shirts for sure. And I think
Not to judge people based on their appearance.
No, but you know, it's the energy's not matching. It's not about like him like looking good enough or not. Yeah.
I don't know why I would ever do that if it was happening now, but I'm like, it's 11 years ago. This is a historical document.
You're right. Yeah. Right. It's like making fun of the way George Washington looks or whatever. Yeah.
Right. It's all fair game.
Yeah.
Now, we're gonna talk about Dance Central for a while now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Just please don't play Poker Face. We'll definitely get DMCA'd if you do that.
See, 2011 was when I was working at a pizza shop, and they all had our local like hits radio station on. So I know all of the hit songs from 2011.
2010, just you. It was a gap for you, a black hole of music.
Grenade. Yeah, Dynamite, Grenade. I know those very well. 2010 though, might be a little rusty.
I wonder where I was working in 2010 and 2011. I don't remember.
Is that your FedEx era? No.
No, I don't know. It's hard. I have no memory of that stuff. I have to just look at like old social media posts to figure out what I was doing.
It's a really fun way to learn.
Oh man. That guy. I feel like I remember the gifs of this guy.
I don't. I'll tell you what, this guy looks very different from the video game character on the screen, though.
I think he goes hard, though.
I mean, good for him. Are these guys in a diner? Oh, no. I wonder if he picked the short straw. All right, guys, who's going to do the live demo for our game at Microsoft's E3 show? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Sing again, Mike.
I don't want to.
Yes, this right there, that's totally a gift.
With this guy. I am the very model of a modern major general. I have information vegetable with animal and mineral. For information vegetable with animal and mineral, I am the very model of a modern major general.
Thank you, Mike. I'll try to upload it. We'll see what happens. I'm almost positive that they're going to do
No, you're
MCS.
absolutely muted. That's why I gave up on the Beatles rock band thing, which would have been an absolute disaster. Well, I mean, this video's on YouTube right now, right? So what the heck?
Yeah, I mean, well, we could put it on there. We won't be able to monetize, and it might not work in some countries. Is usually what happens.
I get so much of that money.
Listen.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
It's I think if you go to like GIFCam, or not GIFCam, but like GIFM or whatever those websites are, and put in like E3 dancing, you'll get this guy.
I believe you.
Thanks, everyone. See you all on the dance floor.
And I'm like looking at my 20. Oh, okay. Okay, 2010 is when I went to the Call of Duty Black Ops event in LA. So I was writing for Combo,
Wow.
I think.
Oh. Wow, yeah, we weren't.
Connectimals and Kinect Sports.
You weren't even really with Bitmob quite yet, were you?
No, not at that point.
I didn't even know who you were.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Times.
Dance Club. And all of this with the magic of Kinect. Today, I'm pleased to announce that Kinect for Xbox 360 will launch worldwide this holiday, starting in North America on November 4th.
I mean, the Xbox 360 really did get a few extra years out of it just from Kinect. We're 3 years away from the Xbox One, and the system is going to be 5 years old at the time Kinect comes out. It's the biggest loser game. Oh my god.
This is just the beginning. We're thrilled.
Just wait till you see the full game we're making for this.
2010 was when we went to that first PAX in Boston, so we did know each other.
That's right. Oh my god, they're about to show. They're about to show the Star Wars game I was talking about. So that was the big thing of all of these things. Everyone's like, "Where's the Star Wars game?" Because everyone assumed that's what they wanted,
right?
And they were all bad.
Yeah.
Even with the newer high. God. Even with the newer high-end VR stuff, we got some really specific, like, high-fidelity Star Wars experiences, like Vader Immortal,
right?
And some of those other things, but no one really cares.
No, not really.
This is not gameplay, by the way. Like, look at this is such bullshit.
Well, he said it's real camera feed, controller feed. Yeah, but I don't either.
This you can just tell from the animation. There's absolutely no way.
It's it looks bad though. Either way.
Yeah, it even looks. Anyways, it looks fucking stupid.
It looks silly. It looks really silly. Darth Vader always shows up in these games, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has to.
What else are you gonna do?
This guy.
Yeah.
This is the complete opposite of the everything is canon philosophy of Star Wars now. I'll tell you that much.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the one more thing, by the way, is Star Wars for Kinect. I think that was their big closing announcement. Which is weird, because Star Wars is in a very weird spot at this point. Like, we're 6 years away from Episode 3, which people didn't really like.
Mm-hmm.
And we're a while away from the new trilogy.
Turn 10, so we're still, we got like,
well,
we have like almost 10 minutes left.
Oh, we're talking about Forza?
Yep.
We gained the first Forza Horizon, maybe?
Let's hit the track in the hottest
I mean, it's turn 10, so I don't know.
Okay, no, so just to talk so much about core games, to talk about Kinect for a while, and then to just kind of suddenly talk about Forza. Are they about to say that there's some kind of Kinect interactivity? Yes, that's why. Okay. Well, no one. I'm sure whatever this Forza was, nobody played it like that more than once. Tell you what, even the old Forza games still look pretty good. Like,
Right, yeah.
Turns out you can make cars look pretty good relatively easily.
Yeah, and anything here that does look old, it looks old kind of like in an interesting way. Like you could tell it's
Right.
sacrifice to just make the game go faster, and it's like, ah, I appreciate that.
Using Kinect and the Xbox 360, we are able to marry amazing graphics with fun and intuitive gameplay.
All right, I'm curious what the real last thing here. Oh.
The love of cars.
I remember that Halo 1 remake came out. I remember it had some really lame Kinect stuff with, like, you could say throw grenade.
Right, God. Just
would throw the grenade.
Remember that GameCube, I think it's Odama, like the pinball game that you played by talking to the controller or whatever? You had a microphone attachment. Yeah. Hey You Pikachu for the N64, of course.
This is the opposite. We saw the gameplay and now we're getting the trailer.
Yeah.
Switching things up.
Is the car going to come out on stage? Or did they already do that and I missed it?
I don't think they're doing that yet.
Oh my God.
That's the thing they definitely do later all the time. I don't think they're doing that yet. Oh, it's this thing, yeah.
You're just a right stick.
Yeah, you're a right stick, so it's
human right stick, yeah.
I mean, it's not at all like you're actually walking around the thing. It's just weird. It's a weird camera control system based on how you lean.
You can walk around towards the front of the car and the side, kneel down and look at the Formula One inspired carbon ceramic brakes.
Like, why would you want to?
Yeah, like you're gonna be like behind your coffee table.
Like, who cares? Holy shit! It's a Wii. It's a Xbox 360 rendering of a car wheel.
That's an engine.
It's a cutscene of an engine. Dang, dude. Look at that engine performance. You just don't get it, Jeff. You don't understand what it takes for dual plenum intake. You just don't appreciate the craftsman of this Ferrari. The door opens. I bet he could close it too.
Wow.
Oh, he's going inside the car.
And he's gonna sit down and there's not gonna be a chair underneath him. He's gonna fall down. Cool. Like, listen, I love Nintendo, but they really fucked up the industry sometimes. Like, the things that people do to try to keep up with them. They just messed us up for a few years.
We all suffered. It is funny because at the time I was like, yeah, Xbox 360 era was pretty good. I went back to it and I compared it to some of the other ones. I'm like, that's kind of one of the worst times. That was like, it was clearly worse than the generation before. Like, to be clear, most of the bright spots were on Xbox 360, but again, it was mostly third-party stuff.
Yeah, and like, listen, like third-party, like getting it, like really its legs underneath it and be able to make like some of the best games and put it on everything. Like, that was great, and that's still kind of like what fuels the industry today, hopefully. But yeah, like all this stuff they were trying to do, like all these first-party platform companies trying to figure out like what a platform could be in ways they could make more money from us. They just had no idea what they were doing.
And this year, our 10th year, is the biggest year.
Yeah, there's a bizarrely like strange amount of a lack of faith in gaming.
Yeah.
It's the year that music, movies, television, and sports.
There it is. Music, movies, television. Like they're like not games. Music, movies, television.
Yep.
As if anybody makes money from music anymore.
Yeah, God, right. Like, yeah, you're gonna have an iTunes store on the Xbox. Come on.
That binds us together. We believe interactive entertainment is the
Is this just how it ends? That's right, Metal Gear Rising was earlier. Is this just how it ends?
I think so. I mean,
Forza for no reason.
You know, we have 3 more minutes.
I have no idea what they could possibly show. They already talked about like Halo.
Me neither.
If Fable is the one last thing, Fable for Kinect, I'll piss my pants. But that'd be great. But I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, it's 2010. They could have teased Skyrim at this point, but I don't think they teased it until the next year. So, or start talking about it until the next year.
That's true. They could, but I don't think. Yeah, because Skyrim had that banger of a teaser trailer, and then an even better like first gameplay trailer. But I don't think that was here. I forget where that was. Maybe
there's not enough time now. It's running out. We got about 2.5 minutes left.
Something special to share with you today.
Here it is.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is.
Is this the remodel?
Xbox 360.
This is the remodel of the. Yeah. That's right. They made the Xbox uglier.
Right.
But this was big because it was cheaper, and this is how this also helped them sell a lot of new systems with Kinects. Like a lot of people had this version of Xbox 360, partially because everybody's original
Wi-Fi.
Xbox 360 broke. Yeah, built-in Wi-Fi. Can't believe it. Ready for Kinect. Yeah. I think I had one of these just because my 360 broke, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Sleeker,
That original 360 design, so much better though.
Yeah, it looks great. It's much better. Hey, this was the beginning of everything's black now.
Yeah.
And that's why I got over it. Now, to be clear, I know a lot of people's Xbox 360s did eventually get gross. I understand that. But,
it's weird to think, but I did have a Wi-Fi dongle for my
yeah,
Xbox.
I forgot about it.
Yeah, me too.
Remember the original hard drive options for the Xbox 360 were none.
Yeah.
20 gigabyte. That was it.
Right. I still have my 20 gigabyte in a drawer somewhere.
Wow. 20. Because they weren't even thinking that much. Oh, people aren't going to download full games on here.
Right.
This is for save data.
We limit the size of games to 50 megabytes.
This is for Geometry Wars and save data.
Yeah, man. Real different time.
Even by the end of this, we were starting to download full games onto our systems.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane how much things changes in this one generation.
Everyone with their laptops working in there.
Yeah. Man, if it's hard to get Wi-Fi signals in these places today, I can't imagine back then. They just asked them to applaud more.
I think maybe he's going to give everybody an Xbox. That's got to be what it is. Let's go back, because I did miss it. I want to hear.
On us. The new Xbox 360 to you right now on us.
Yeah, he's giving away free stuff, of course. I feel like I remember. I think I remember the people talking about, like, yeah, I had to go like wait in line and get my Xbox and carry it back to the hotel.
Yeah, I remember now. Because I think I wasn't in the crowd and I was jealous.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten a free console at an E3 thing. I don't think. I think I went to the PlayStation 4 reveal thing in New York with Shu. And we were there and we were covering it. And Shu kept saying, like, last time they just gave us one to go home and gave us one to go home. And they gave us some and Shu took them both and went home. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it was going to go, like, to people like that were going to be reviewing a ton of games for Bitmob or whatever. And, like,
I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
On Xbox 360. Thank you and have a wonderful E3.
I guess that would have been VentureBeat by then, but yeah.
Yeah, it would have been, huh? But I mean, that was a weird E3, man, because they just do not do them like that. I mean, we said that with Nintendo. Nintendo was more hilariously bad, though.
Yes.
That was an artifact.
Yes. Like, this is just like a, this was foreboding. Like, there was like like the stuff that was in there that was bad was like, oh, this is where things started going really wrong, huh? This is the seed getting planted. And Don Mattrick right there, making sure that those seeds got planted. And then, yes, and then the stuff that was good was
planting his seed.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, everybody. Yeah, he went on to go work for like Facebook gaming companies. I think he works for like Zynga still, which is really weird. But yeah, it's just it was a weird one. And like, yeah, and the stuff that's like was good was the stuff we knew was going to be like the kind of stuff that Microsoft always had, and kind of still the games that it has today. But you know, they're going to do their E3 this year, and it's going to be way better than that. Even if it's like still doesn't have like a million new announcements, it's still going to be like, okay, no, they figured this stuff out at the very least and made it entertaining. Yeah. Wow. All right, Mike.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, what are we going to do next? You got any ideas about what we should do next? We're getting pretty close to E3 real, the real one for this year.
There's a couple other infamous ones. There's the E3, there's the Ubisoft one with Mr. Coffee, and there's that Konami one. So maybe we could tackle one of those.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd like to check out one of those. All right, Mike, that sounds good. We're gonna get out of here. Everybody, check the Discord. Come join us there. Check out GamesBeat.com. Come hang out with us. And then, yeah, we got the real E3 coming up fast, and we'll do some coverage. We'll probably do a bunch of podcasts that week, or at least some reaction videos. We'll see. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. And until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.
Doodles.